In this video, we're going to see a little bit about what a HigherEd 2.0 course blog looks like. And let's start off with the navigation. So this is a course blog for a dynamics course taught in spring of 2011 at the University of Virginia. And as you can see, the course blog has a content pane, which is this piece right here. And then it has two navigation panes. One is the set of tabs across the top, and the other is going down the right-hand side here. You can see that the navigation is broken down into several convenient ways to do it. The first one is a typical blog kind of organization, which is to have a reverse chronological organization of the posts. And so here we've got, for example, homework assignments that were given with due dates in May, and then back here in April. And then if I scroll down further, I can go down and see that they go backwards in time. So the most recent material is here at the top, where we can see it as soon as we get onto the course blog. So that's one way to navigate. Students can also navigate by topic. And so if we look at the navigation across the top, if students are interested in what's going on with exams, they click on the exam tab, and it takes us to the exam page, where they can see solutions to exams they've already taken. They can see histograms, we can see equation sheets, and that sort of thing as well. Another way to navigate is to look at the right-hand side, where we've got some login information up here so that students can log in behind the password protection. And then they can also go down here and navigate using the same tabs, but you can see that I've expanded the Lectures tab to look at the different topics for the course. So if a student wants to go directly to a particular topic, they can use the navigation here, or they can use the navigation under the Lecture tab at the top. And the other way to navigate is using categories and tags. So here I've defined just two categories, one for announcements and one for homework. And so that's not a very granular way to look at it. The other way to look at it is through tags. So these are tags on each one of the posts that I've got here. And so if I wanted to look at all of the posts related to homework for chapter 19, then I would just click here, and I would see everything that's tagged as chapter 19. So you could see that. If I wanted to look for everything on a particular topic, let's say angular momentum, there you go. There's all of our homework related to angular momentum. The other thing we can do is look at what we call a tag cloud, and so you may have seen these on some other websites. This is a tag cloud that talks about all the different tags that are used on the course blog. And in fact, the size of the print corresponds to the number of tags, number of times that tag is used. So for example, relative motion has these 7 topics. Kinematics and kinetics are looking to be about tied for the most prominent tags, and you would expect that in a dynamics class. You can see that we had the most homework in chapter 16. Looks like we had 8 assignments. We had very little discussion of, for example, cylindrical coordinates. Comparatively, that's a relatively small tag. And so you can see that the tag cloud is useful to give students at a glance an idea of what the most important and prominent topics are, and a way to navigate that really easily. Now let's talk about the way that we organize the material for the course. So you've seen the reverse chronological organization of the assignments and the communication on a day-to-day basis. Let's look at some of the lecture information. So if I go up to the Lectures tab and then scroll down to, say, Lecture 5, this is all about particle kinetics. So it gives all the materials related to this section of the course. So for example, a student can come on here and they can look at PDF notes for the lecture that they can download ahead of time. They can look at a problem set that we do in class. They can see a tablet recording of the lecture. So this is a lecture video. And then what I've got here are 3 different video solutions. And in fact, these are 3 different solutions to the same problem. And each one uses a different solution technique. So students can go through and look at those 3 solutions, figure out which one might be the easiest, which one might be more difficult, and kind of compare and contrast the approaches to that particular problem and see what they can determine about the best way to solve the problem. We often also put relevant links for each lecture. So for example, this is a link to a YouTube video of a bat and a ball coming together, and it shows a high-speed impact, which is an example of an impulse and momentum kind of problem. You can see that there are also ways that students can add comments about the lecture and talk a little bit about either the lecture itself or the problems or some of the links that have been embedded in there. When I click through on the external link, I'm taken off to a YouTube site where I can see a video from a television show called Time Warp, in which they use high-speed photography to capture very high-frequency phenomena. In this case, we're watching a ball hit a bat in a very controlled experiment. The discussion here is really useful because it not only talks about the compression of the ball, but the potential damage it does to the bat as well. When I click through on the lecture video link, a new window comes up in my browser, and in that window is embedded this QuickTime video, which I can now watch. This is just a narrated video created with a tablet PC, where I'm talking a little bit about the lecture and some of the motivation, doing some derivations of equations and things, and generally giving students an idea of what this particular topic is all about. We use the comment features of the blog to facilitate collaboration and cooperation among the students. And so you can see that every one of these homework posts has comments associated with it. Here's 55 comments and 30 comments and 36 comments. So let's just click through and have a look at what students are talking about. So here is the post for the homework assignment, and you can see below a long list of comments that students have posted. And the comments fall into a couple of basic categories. You can see, for example, this one right here has an equation in it, which is a very detailed look at how to solve a particular problem. In other cases, you'll see that students have more conceptual questions, and there's a lot of text that goes back and forth among the students. The key here is that these comments are available for anyone to see, and they are available at any time, so students can collaborate with each other asynchronously, whether or not there are office hours or other resources available to them, especially after hours, late at night, when they might be working on their homework sets. Let's end this discussion by talking about the project and student-generated content. So in this particular class, students were asked to author content that they could share with their peers, and it was posted on the course blog here under the Project tab. So if we click through on the Project tab, you can see that the projects are organized by chapter in the book, and you can see that there are multiple solutions given in a given chapter. Students use the types of tools that have been illustrated elsewhere, whether it's for a video solution or a lecture video or what have you. And in some cases, students actually put together two solutions, one using a particular method and one using a different method. Students generally put together good multimedia solutions because they have seen the best practices in action through the instructor-generated content. And they also write a short text, a couple of hundred words, about what the problem is about, what the difficult parts of the problem were, and where the viewer has to pay attention to make sure that they understand the problem in full. So the student-generated content is actually easy to manage, easy for students to author, and it is a good project because it gets students thinking about how to teach a particular subject. Now if I click through on a student-generated video, I might end up on a problem like this, where a student is just using a camera, perhaps a cell phone camera, and a sheet of paper to go ahead and write exactly what the solution is going to be and narrate his thoughts as he's going.